Hi, welcome back. Today I want to actually talk about a camera that I picked up because I'm doing a lot of video work, and I know Nikon, which I'm recording on right now, is a Z6II. I know Nikon's going to possibly announce a Z8 soon, but I wanted a camera that's going to shorten my workflow time in situations where I need to produce horizontal video and vertical video. So what I ended up picking up, it was actually kind of hard to get, is the Panasonic Lumix S5II. As you can see here, very nice camera. I got it with the kit 20-60 lens here. You know, very nice lens. It is variable aperture. It is a 3.5 to 5.6. But the biggest feature this camera has, other than the fully articulating screen, is it's got cinema camera modes. Instead of using shutter speed, I can use shutter angle. So 180-degree angle shutter for any frame rates. But the big feature that I wanted other than the 10-bit video, was the full frame open gate. So you get 3:2 aspect ratio video at the full resolution of the sensor. So that would be 6K resolution. It limits you to 30 minutes record time on a 6K open gate. However, you can set the temperature mode from normal to high, and then it will do unlimited, but it does warn you that the camera is going to get hot. The camera does have an air intake here above the lens, and then 2 exhaust vents on either side of the top of the camera as exhaust. So it does have active cooling, but Panasonic is known for their weather sealing, so I'm not really worried about that. But I have tested 6K. My computer does not like it. Even if it's in MPEG-4, doesn't matter if it's in MPEG-4, which captures in H.264, or in MOV, which is H.265. My computer does not like it. It definitely lets me know that I do need to upgrade my computer, possibly CPU upgrade and graphics card upgrade. Definitely need to go above 8 gig of RAM on the video card for sure. As far as the photos, I do have to use Adobe DNG converter to convert the raw files from this to DNG to open the files, because I don't want to pay for Adobe Lightroom. Capture One Pro in Q2 is going to have support for the raw files from this camera. The IBIS on this camera is phenomenal. The camera, other than that stuff, is you can use anamorphic lenses on this, and you can de-squeeze the anamorphic lens just by looking at the squeeze factor on the lens. Set that in the camera, and you'll see your widescreen de-squeezed image, even when recording an open gate. This is Panasonic's first professional camera to have hybrid phase detect autofocus. So it still has their depth from defocus, contrast-based autofocus, but it also has 779 phase detect points on the sensor. This camera is also using the L2 or L squared technology, which is co-developed by Panasonic and Leica. This obviously is a Leica type of camera. It's using the Leica L mount because Panasonic and Sigma are all part of the L mount alliance. Very sturdy lenses, but this 20-60, very good lens. The other lens I picked up, which kind of blew me away how much it costed, was the 50mm 1.8. Only paid $350 for this thing brand new. You know, you can see the front element there in the front of it. Very, very nice glass, and it is very, very sharp. So other than buying this for video, I've noticed, because I keep doing more and more videos, so this will give me the full 10-bit everything. I might get the S5II, which adds in the raw output out of the HDMI jack on this camera, or the S5II. It is a full-size HDMI. You can add the raw functionality to this camera with a paid firmware update, which I probably will not do, but other than that raw output to an external monitor, the S5II, while it is the exact same camera, can record Apple ProRes internal to the memory cards, but it will also, on the S5II anyways, maybe this one in a firmware update maybe, can record to an external SSD connected over the USB-C jack. Hopefully they add that to this camera eventually. We will just have to wait and see. And it is all metal. You know, it is magnesium alloy. Very, very weather sealed. Panasonic actually has a video setting this camera on fire that I found on the internet. And it still worked. But 2 UHS 2 SD card slots. Very, very nice camera. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put this camera on there, and I'm going to record the rest of the video in open gate, so you're going to see a 3x2 aspect image for the rest of the video. Alright, I did move the Lumix camera closer because at 35mm matching this camera, it wasn't able to stay at f4. So I set it to 28mm, so it's at f4, and I just brought the camera in closer. But I do just want to show here. So I've got my Nikon exposed for the Lumix camera here. I can zoom in here, and you can actually see that I've got a waveform up, the audio levels, and you can see the way the box is on my face. It is very, very, very fast. So, but that's really good. But overall, now that I have a screen to the side of the camera, I have the tendency to look over at it, which is going to mess me up, but it'll help me with my vinyl collecting channel regarding record collecting stuff here. It'll help me regarding that for framing up shots. But so far, I've dialed in some settings. I have my C1, C2, and C3 set. For C1 is a 6K open gate, 24 frames a second. C2 is 4K, 422, 24 frames a second, 10-bit obviously. And C3, which it has a C3.1, C3.2, C3.3, but I currently have C3.1 set to 4K, 422, 10-bit, 4K 60 on that mode. Because those are the modes I use most. Honestly, I know 4K 60 crops at 60 frames a second. However, this Nikon has been, honestly, it crops that to APS-C when you put it to 4K 60. So, most cameras in this price point do. Honestly, looking at a Lumix S1R, because I'm honestly probably just going to switch to the Lumix system. I still have my Fujifilm gear. I'll probably use my Fujifilm for behind the scenes when I'm on a photo shoot doing photos with the Panasonic. But honestly, with all my custom video modes I have set on here, all of them are set to Vlog, and this camera is using true Vlog. So that is something I do like. And I just look at my display, it says I got 23 minutes left. So it is counting up, but I did not change the thermal limit on the camera because honestly, do I really need more than 30 minutes for this 6K mode? Probably not, because my computer doesn't like it. I have to render proxy files in DaVinci Resolve to even edit it. But an upgrade will come. And if you guys, I am going to be, because this camera is using true Vlog, it's not using a cut down version. That is the other reason I got it, because it's not a cut down version of Vlog like some other cameras do. But I am going to be doing some shoots, mainly with my 51.8. I do want to get most of their 1.8 primes because they all weigh the same to use on gimbals, but man, in-body image stabilization on this thing is kind of crazy stable. 20mm on this lens, you'll see some corner wobble, but hopefully a firmware update will fix that. But I am going to be doing some color grading tutorials with this camera, and maybe with my Fujifilm here on the channel. You know, this is me rebuilding my channel from it being hacked previously, but I did re-upload my F-Log video for Fujifilm. I do plan on continuing some color grading and some tutorials regarding DaVinci Resolve with color grading, because I mostly get video jobs now, which kind of made me buy this camera, because yes, Nikon is going to have another camera that is going to trickle down the Z9 features. However, I wanted a camera that gave me waveforms, vector scope, shutter angle, anamorphic modes, because I plan on investing in some anamorphic lenses, because I want to eventually film the short film that I'm writing. So, and I want to do that with all anamorphic lenses, and with this camera I can do it in open gate. So I'm going to be investing in some full frame Surrey lenses for the anamorphic. I'm not going to use those anamorphic adapters. As far as Leica lenses are concerned, they're extremely expensive, so I probably will not be investing in any of those, even though I know the S series Leica lenses for the SL bodies will work on this camera. One thing that is nice though, for all the Leica shooters out there that shoot the SL camera bodies, since the technology in this camera is co-developed by Panasonic and Leica, the tech in this camera is going to end up going up to the Leica SL bodies. So we already know in the future, maybe this year, maybe next year, you're going to get phase detect in the Leica SL bodies. But you know, this body, if I was going to compare it to a Leica SL, it would be the SL2S. You know, if this same exact camera had a Leica name on it, it'd be $8,000. So it's one of the reasons I went with the Panasonic. And to be honest, I've always stayed away from Panasonic mainly because I didn't want micro four thirds. I wanted full frame. But this camera, honestly, if this camera wouldn't have came out, I would have bought into the Fujifilm X-H2S. But I honestly wanted full frame. I don't know if the fan in the camera is running. I do have a Rode Video Micro on the top of the camera with the dead cat on top of it. And it is, you know, the front of the capsule on the mic is forward past where the fan is. However, let me know in the video if it is running, because I can't hear it. Honestly, this camera's been recording for 9 minutes, so I'm curious how warm it is. I'm not getting any temperature warnings. It's just letting me know it's recording to the one memory card because I only have one card in it. But let me know what kind of tutorials would you like to see for color grading, any type of artistic styles you would like to see. I do plan on scheduling a few photo shoots within the next 3 months that I'm going to be using this camera for a lot of video. So I'll have a lot of stuff, a lot of content to work with in DaVinci Resolve. But let me know. Comment below what you would like to see with this camera, and possibly the Fujifilm camera, the Nikon. I'm gonna keep the Nikon for now, but looking at the overall cost of ownership of Nikon, Canon, and Sony, the Panasonic is just more cost effective with their prime lenses, because honestly, do I really need anything above 1.8? Not really. And honestly, Sigma being part of the L-Mount Alliance, they have a lot of 1.4s that are well under $2,000 brand new. And, you know, 1.4 is more than enough if you're just doing photography and some video. I have been told if I go buy a Sigma art lens, I need to get the ones that say DGDN, because I believe those are the ones that are specifically designed and optimized for mirrorless cameras. But let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, share the video, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you, and bye.